Good afternoon, hyddenWell farmers. It's good to see everybody today. It's been a little while since I just told you a story, but I wanted to tell you a story. Hi guys, how you doing? My turkeys are down here. They've come for a visit. They're looking for something to eat, I think. Anyway, I wanted to tell you a story about kind of a Halloween story. And I wrote a blog post about this not too many years ago. But I had a family that they had a dog, very friendly dog, but it had one really bad habit. It liked to chase cars. And with all the kids and everybody that was in that family, I mean, they absolutely loved this dog more than life itself. I mean, they just love this dog. And the guy, the father of the family, would go to work every day, and he would have to try to avoid this dog. And they had come up with all sorts of tricks to leave without the dog chasing them. Now, I don't know how far he would chase them. I don't know how long he would chase them for. I just know that he would chase them, and it was a problem. So one day, he thought he had tricked the dog. The dog was in the barn or something, I don't know, and he took off to work. And as he went down his long lane at his farm and house and turned onto the main road and was speeding up, that dog had made a circle around the farm and had come. And just as he had started speeding up, he ran right out in front of him, the dog did, and he ran over him. So the dad got out, and he was all distraught about this dog. I mean, his kids loved this dog. They loved it. But now this dog has been hit, and the way the guy describes it is, I heard both thumps of my tires, thump, 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 as I went over the dog. And I got out, and I looked at him, and I was sure he was dead. He wasn't breathing. His eye was hanging out. He was bleeding everywhere. I was late for work. I mean, he's telling me the story. So I didn't know what to do. And so in my haste and in my rush and not thinking it through, I just went up underneath this tree on the little hill, and with my makeshift shovel, I buried the dog. I dug a big grave and I just buried him. So he went to work, and as the day went on, he worked on his story about what he would tell the kids about how he'd found a girlfriend and ran away, or it just disappeared or whatever. But he most certainly was not going to tell them that he had run over the dog. I probably wouldn't either. I mean, that would be something that I would most likely avoid in my story to my kids. But as fate would have it, he's home about 3 days later. And I told him to rename this dog Jesus, so that's a little foreshadowing. But 3 days later, he's drinking, Pepsi and eating his spaghetti, and everything's fine at the house, and all of a sudden he hears this horrible scream, and then another one joins in it. And of course, he thinks one of the kids has gotten hurt or killed or something. He jumps up and he runs to the front door, and standing on the front porch was this mangled dog, covered in mud and dirt, with his jaw broken and hanging down, and his tongue flapping like something out of a horror movie, like out of one of those Walking Dead movies. And his eye was all swelled and bugged out. But there he was on the front porch, wagging his tail. He had dug himself up out of the grave and made his way back home. And there was his kids. And so he scoops him up, and he runs him down to my office, and I can testify that this dog was covered in thick, thick mud. On the way out to the vet's office, the guy just scratched his head, couldn't believe it. As he was racing to my office, he got out of his car and he went up and he checked the grave, and sure enough, the dog had come up out of that grave. He went to the hospital, and I took that dog, and I did the very best I could. I pinned both of his jaws. We took his eye out and fashioned him a new eye. And that dog I mean, the friendliest dog ever. And he made a full recovery and did awesome and great. So, you know, in the aftermath of all that, you know, they bring him in, I'm taking the stitches out, and I asked him how everything's going. He says, oh, we're so happy to have our dog back. But this dumb dog will not quit chasing cars. So I think they ended up having to build him a fence and stuff to contain him, everything like that, so he wouldn't get hit no more. But that dog did really good, and so it's a happy Halloween story. So my only advice to you, my moral of the story is that if you ever do accidentally run over a critter and you go to bury it, you might want to make sure that it's passed away. God bless y'all. Talk to you later.